Yo, what up, yo? What up's going on? Sorry for yelling. What's going on, y'all? Listen, today we're here to discuss the welterweight division. This division is freakishly stacked. Freakishly stacked. This is by far the best division in the UFC right now. I mean, literally 1 through 11 is danger. It's all danger. If you don't believe that the welterweight division is the most stacked division, look at the last two champions. Belal, he's not on the slide, but listen, I think Belal is going to lose this weekend, and if he does, that's 2 in a row. The champion before him, really, Leon Edwards is on like a 3-fight losing streak, or 3-fight losing streak. That is how dangerous the division. Former champions can't get a win in the top 10. They can't get wins. Islam coming up to this division is insanity, because guess what? Islam said to everyone, which is what the craziest thing about what he said was, I'm no longer getting tired. What? Islam not getting tired? Are you kidding me? Look, Kamaru Usman, I think, because that's what Islam's calling for. Kamaru Usman would give Islam a test. I do believe that Kamaru Usman and Michael Morales are the two guys, right? We'll get into some more fantasy matchups here in a second, but I think Kamaru Usman and Michael Morales are the two guys that I think would challenge, would give Islam a real legit challenge. Okay? Kamaru Usman, I do think, I don't know if he can match him with the rest, but it'd be close, right? They would definitely be going at it. The scrambles would be crazy. I don't think that, I don't know that Islam would be able to hold Kamaru down the way he did JDM. Definitely wouldn't. He definitely wouldn't. We saw what Khamzat, what Kamaru was able to do with Khamzat. So I definitely think that Kamaru would give Islam a threat. But here's the thing. Kamaru's jiu-jitsu is nowhere close to what Islam's is. And that's what I think the difference would be. And so when you bring up a Khamzat, let's talk about fantasy matchups for a second. Khamzat used to fight in this division. He fought Gilbert Burns in a war. Now, Islam, imagine that fucking matchup, man. Islam versus Khamzat. Talk about fantasy matchup. That would be one of the craziest fights ever. And I probably would, now that I'm seeing, I don't know if I think I might lean Islam, because that weight cut would probably impact Chimaev. Not that he's a huge middleweight. I think that Chimaev can make the cut. And I think that Chimaev making the cut would probably wear on his gas tank, where Islam doesn't have to worry about his gas tank anymore. He said it. Now, we still have to see him tested by Kamaru or like another guy that can grapple. But, yeah, man. How fun would Islam versus Khamzat be, yeah? Then the next fantasy matchup, Islam versus Ilya. Look, Ilya, I don't know. After seeing what Islam was just able to do, I don't think Ilya would win. I can't speak right now. Would win. Because Ilya, if you think about what Ilya's doing, generational run. I mean, this guy is a talent we've never seen before. What Ilya is doing is he won the belt. He beat Volk. He defends versus Max, and he moves up. So he is chasing that legacy, right? Because he goes up and he beats Charles, and he wins the lightweight strap. 3 GOATs, right? 3 GOATed guys. So his name is immediately elevated to the top. And it makes it so to the point where, I mean, I think they'll entertain the Islam versus Ilya matchup if both guys win their next fights. I literally think they would entertain that. So my issue with that is he fights after beating Volk, right, at bantam. He fights once more. Then he moves up to, now he had already had some fights in that division, so yeah. He fights once more against Max and then moves up to lightweight. Fights once, wins a bout. Let's say he starches Paddy out, or he starches Armin out in the next fight, or whoever he fights next, he starches him out, and I mean in like brutal, devastating fashion within the first couple minutes. That Islam fight is definitely going to be mentioned for the White House. That means that he's only gonna adjust 2 fights at lightweight, and then go jump to welter. That just sounds like a crazy. I mean, he's moving divisions very rapidly here. And I mean, I'm not saying he can't do it, but it's just very rapid. You know what I mean? And I think that at welterweight, he'd be extremely undersized. Where Islam is like, you know, filled out and looks good at that division. Islam, you know, he didn't look crazy small next to Jack. I think Jack might have had a slight weight size advantage. So my point being is Ilya versus Islam would be fun. It'd be a generational fight, especially if Ilya beats the next guy, man. If he like starches the next guy out cold, holy man. But I just think that Ilya would handle Islam would handle him because the again, he's just too. I mean, he doesn't have to go weight. He doesn't have to worry about his cardio. He could essentially wrestle as much as he wants versus Ilya, and I think that would be the difference. Where I think if they were at lightweight, I think the gas tank would work in Ilya's favor, where we saw Islam gas versus like a Dustin slow down versus these guys. You know what I mean? I don't think that'd be the case at welterweight, and I think that's where Islam would have the edge over Ilya Topuria. Okay, so yeah, man. Listen, he ties Anderson Silva for the longest win streak in history. Islam's goated, man. Anybody that says he's the GOAT, you're not lying. I mean, you can make an argument for him being the GOAT. 100%. If he beats like a Kamaru next, if they give him the Kamaru fight, 100%. You just took out one of the welterweight GOATs, you're looking at GOAT status here. I mean, he's beaten Volk. You know what I'm saying? He has Armin on his resume. Let's look at his resume real quick. So he has Jack Della Maddalena, who was on like a 18-fight win streak or something crazy. He beat Renato Moicano, another GOAT in Dustin Poirier, Alexander Volkanovski twice, Charles Oliveira. Like, I mean, this guy is Dan Hooker. I mean, Armin Tsarukyan. Yeah, goated resume, man. I mean, if he listen, he has a two division champ. If he beats Kamaru or even like a Michael Morales, I mean, Michael Morales is 26, dude. That guy is gonna be a problem for a minute. He's going to be a champion. I am telling you that right now. He's too dangerous. We'll get to him in a second, though. JDM. Let's talk about JDM. Listen, JDM is a dog, man. Listen, he didn't quit in this fight versus Islam. He got dominated, complete domination. I mean, it was complete and utter domination. His 18-fight win streak got snapped. JDM, listen, if I were JDM, go back to the drawing board. Look, do what DDP did. DDP got dominated by Khamzat. You're probably not going to see him for a year. JDM, take a year off, go work and fine-tune your tools. I think JDM's only like 29, dude. He's a young man, and he's been injury-prone. Go back to the drawing board, work on your toolkit, and come back stronger. You're ranked at number 1. I don't think... listen, you are still a tough match for a lot of guys in the division, but we have to keep in mind the last couple of champs. This welterweight division is so stacked. If you think about it, Leon Edwards is on like a 3-fight win streak. He's the previous champ. Not too long ago, lost his belt. Belal Muhammad loses his belt, and I personally think he's gonna lose to Ian Gary this weekend. That's just my thought. Maybe he doesn't. If he doesn't, we'll talk about it then. But if he loses his belt, then he's on a losing streak. So the last couple of champions have been on losing streaks. If I'm JDM, I really assess the situation. You are a former champ. You don't have to take every fight. Look at the landscape. You versus a Shavkat, I think would be fun. Maybe Shavkat would, but that's a fun matchup for you. Where Shavkat doesn't have. I think that would be a fun matchup. Shavkat. I don't think Shavkat's as good a wrestler as Islam. He doesn't wrestle in the same way, at least, right? Joaquin Buckley's there. That's a fun fight. You know what I'm saying? Ian Gary at some point. You know, that'd be a tough fight for you, but that'd be a fun striking match. Even a Sean Brady fight would be fun for you to kind of, you know, bounce back, right? Show that you can be a wrestler. So, yeah, if I'm JDM, I assess the situation. Do what DDP is doing. Take a step back. Let the division play out. The division's on fucking fire right now. I mean, this is The top 11 in this division, as we'll go through, is insane, man. So we'll go on to the next guy, Belal Muhammad. But yeah, JDM, take your time. No need to like feel pressed to get back. You're 29. Take a year, man. Come back toward the end of your 30s and be a new guy. Work on your toolkit. And you could still go back on a nice run. I mean, you're 18-3. You're 29 years old. You're a previous champ. That can never be changed in history. Yeah. You know, work on some things, and I think, you know, I'm not saying that it's guaranteed, but you definitely can. You're talented enough to get your belt back. So that's what I would say for JDM. For Belal Muhammad, listen, I think that he's running into a guy where I don't see where he beats Ian, because while Ian might not have the takedown defense that JDM does, he is a good grappler and he can wrestle as well. So I think that Ian will be able to get back up if he's taken down. I think that he's a way better striker. He has way better footwork. So I think it's going to be, in that way, it'll be harder to take him down. Not way better footwork than JDM, but way better footwork than Belal. And I think that with that being said, it'll be harder to take Ian down. I think that Ian has great footwork. He has great speed. I think he's going to be a real problem for Belal this weekend. I don't know where Belal, like if Belal had punching power or like something to where he could threaten Ian, like even when he gets him down, he doesn't necessarily have submission ability or ground and pound ability. Like I don't know what, like my thing is guys like Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad, right? You see the division catching up with these guys. Right? I mean, if you look at Belal's, let's look at his resume real quick. His last couple, his run, Leon Edwards clearly has fallen off. Gilbert Burns, not the same guy. Sean Brady, great win. Great win. You know, but outside of Sean Brady, Vicente Luque, Stephen Thompson, these guys are from the past, man. These young lions, these Michael Moraleses, these Ian Machado Garys, these Shavkats that are coming through now. Buckleys, these guys that are coming through now are Islams. They're no joke, man. And I think they're catching up with the rest of with the Belals of the world. And I think this is what, you know, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say Belal is gonna go on a Leon Edwards like losing streak, but I mean with the top 11 in this division right now, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if Belal goes on that type of losing streak, because there's nothing but killers in this division right now. Nothing but killers. So for Belal, I mean, again, listen, this weekend, I'm you know, he's a former champ. He knows how to win. He's a good, has good IQ, fight IQ. The advantages, the attributes. Ian is range shooter. He's a better striker. He can also grapple. I don't see where Belal has any advantage in this fight this weekend. I think the footwork is going to keep Belal at bay. Belal struggled with JDM's footwork. I think he'll struggle with Ian Gary's footwork. I think Ian Gary's a little bit faster than JDM as well. So this is what I'm saying, man. I think that the divisions are catching up with these guys. So look, I want to see. We'll assess Belal once he fights Ian, because that's going to tell us a lot. Because I mean, it's literally the tale of two tapes. If he loses to Ian, it's going to be a complete different conversation versus if he wins. If he wins, then he's now right back into the mix. Literally right back into the mix. Okay, so we'll assess his situation when he fights Ian this weekend. On to the next, we got Michael Morales. Michael Morales, listen, I want to tell you guys something. He's a national champion. I'm going to start with this. He's a national champion in wrestling in his country, Ecuador. He placed fourth in like 2018 or something like that in the Pan American or Pan Atlantic or whatever it's called, the World Championship. The guy can grapple. So like a lot of people are saying, when someone gets a hold of him. I'm not gonna sit here and say he has the best grappling in the world or he'll like shrug everybody off, but what I will tell you is that Sean Brady is elite grappler. He's probably the second best grappler in the division behind Islam. Let's not forget, Sean Brady. There's a reason why he was trying to strike. It wasn't because he was forced to strike. Michael Morales has a 79-inch reach advantage, and he has a reach advantage over most guys. He had a 7-inch reach advantage over Sean Brady. He'll have a reach advantage versus pretty much everybody else in the division. And he kept Sean Brady at range. Low stance, right? Low fight stance. He knows that he doesn't have to. He just has to put that jab out there. Once he sees that he rocks through the jab, he comes over with that overhand right. And he does these things from distance. He's not blitzing in, throwing these strikes. If you watch Michael Morales fight, he's throwing these strikes from distance because of the reach and the range advantage that he has. He's insanely large, pause, for the division. He's a giant man for the division, pause. He's huge, pause. Gotta say pause with this guy because he's listen, live your life, Michael Morales. And you know one thing I'll say is people are going to start talk shit about how his lifestyle, but he's not afraid. At least he's not hiding it, right? Do you feel me? But he's dangerous, man. I personally think that this guy is a danger to Islam. He is way bigger. He has the reach advantage, like a massive reach advantage. He has wrestling accolades. He has a power advantage. He has a strike advantage. He has every single advantage you can possibly think of outside of the jiu-jitsu. You know, that's one thing I could say for sure that Islam will probably be better than him with. And, you know, you can't discount Islam's striking ability. Islam's IQ, I think, is what it is. It's not necessarily his striking ability, it's his IQ. He knew to go in there and chop off JDM's legs. Michael Morales is a fucking problem. I am telling you right now, I don't think anybody outside of Islam can beat this guy in this division. Let's go down the list. You have Islam. I don't think Islam beats him. I don't think Jack beats him. I don't think Belal beats him. Or Islam has a chance to beat him. I don't think Jack beats him. I don't think Belal beats him. Shavkat, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. But even that, Carlos Prates, I think Carlos Prates has a chance if he catches him. Carlos Prates is very small in comparison, though. I think Michael Morales would dwarf him in size. Ian Garry, I don't know that. I don't think Ian Garry would beat him. I think Ian Garry would be running for his life. Sean Brady obviously can't beat him. Kamaru Usman, I don't think beats him. Leon Edwards definitely can't beat him. Buckley, I don't think can beat him. Gabriel Bonfim. These guys are gonna struggle with this guy. I think Michael Morales and Kamaru Usman will give Islam his toughest test, man. I really do. I think that Michael Morales. Listen, I've been behind this guy. Oh, pause. Oh my God. Not behind him. Definitely not behind him. Physically, just like as far as like, you know, thinking he's gonna go somewhere. Like his ceiling. Yes. I've known this guy's ceiling. Who was very, very high for a long time, man. He is a fucking problem. He's going to be a problem for a long time. He's dangerous, man. He's dangerous, okay? Everywhere. He's 26. That's a scary thing about this guy. He's 26 years old, I think. I mean, he might be 25. 26 years old. I think he hasn't hit that peak grown man prime yet. I think, listen, Islam's 34 years old. I see Islam fighting for maybe another 2 years or so. Michael Morales will be 28. Let's say he can't beat Islam, but, you know, he gets the title when Islam leaves. He still has another, like, 6 years in his prime, dude. This guy is a specimen, man. I'm going to have to be careful how much I compliment him just in case he's watching this, but he's a specimen, bro. He's a problem. He does, you know, I think he's going to have a big fan base because of his style. Definitely he's going to have a certain, you know, alphabet community behind him, for sure. They can be behind him, not me. Pause. He's gonna have a fan base, man, because the way he carries himself. He's doing the comic book stuff, the Spider-Man thing that he's doing. He's hanging upside down in the octagon, acting like he's Spider-Man. He's gonna have a fan base, man. You know, very athletic, very powerful. You know, I ruined the Fighting Nerds, and they still have a chance to come back because they're all still young. but I was very high on the Fighting Nerds, and I was verbally very high, and I was posting things about it, and I think that's what did him in. I'm not gonna speak too highly on this guy for a couple of reasons, but mainly because I don't want him to be another one of my prospects that I've been following, that I thought had a high ceiling for a long time. I'm not gonna sit here and let the roof fall on him yet. So I do want to see him fight Carlos Prates. Listen, I don't think Islam's so big now. Pause. His name is so gigantic now that I think, super fights in order next. Whether it's Kamaru, whether it's Ilya, I think that's what's gonna be next for Islam. I think in the meantime, Michael Morales, call out Carlos Prates, and I think he sleeps Carlos Prates in the first round. I just think he would sleep him badly. I just don't see how Carlos Prates would win that fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he catches him, but I don't think it's gonna happen. On to the next six. We've got Shavkat. Now Shavkat's injury prone, man. I mean, when was the last time this guy freaking fought? Let's look at his record here. He fought Machado Garry, UFC 310 in 2024, so December. So okay, almost a year now. Almost a year now that he fought him. Before that, Stephen Thompson, Jeff Neal. The thing about, listen, the Ian Garry win is a very good win. Listen, people are downplaying that win. They're downplaying. Listen, you beat Ian Garry. No one else has beat him. MVP couldn't beat him. MVP is elite, man. Ian Garry is I think he's gonna win this weekend, which is gonna make that win for Shavkat Age even better. Ian Garry's very good, and Shavkat beating him proves that Shavkat's very, very good. I think Shavkat would give a lot of guys in this division problems, including the former champ, JDM. I think Shavkat would beat Belal. You know what I mean? Obviously beat Ian Garry. He would give Carlos Prates problems, I think. He's a bit more stationary than Ian Garry, so if he gets caught by Carlos, then that'd be a problem. But I think he can give a lot of these guys problems. Shavkat is a problem, man. And if he is able to get back healthy, he's gonna give a lot of these guys problems. And I think that's gonna be a scary thing. That's gonna be a really scary thing. So I am looking forward to Shavkat coming back, man. I really, really would like to see him come back and fight. I can see them putting Shavkat versus like a Michael Morales or a Carlos Prates. I think Carlos Prates would be the better fit because Carlos Prates did lose to Ian Garry, whereas Shavkat beat him. So if they made Shavkat versus Carlos Prates, that would be fun. That'd be a wild fight. I think Shavkat would win that fight. You could put Michael Morales then, or you just make Michael Morales versus Shavkat since they both are undefeated. Yeah, that'd be the storyline. Battle of the undefeateds, and the winner gets the title shot. Yeah, I think that's how you move. That's how you move with that one. Or maybe like an interim title while Islam fights Ilya or something like that. I think that's how you move with this, because the division's so stacked. I mean, Ian could get the title shot. Prates could get the title shot. Morales, Shavkat, all these guys are literally right there. Ian gets a win this weekend. I don't know if he needs another one, man. But maybe you put him against holy. You see, it's so hard. They literally have contender after contender to throw at Islam, literally. And they're talking about super fights. That's crazy. Good luck to the matchmakers on that one. They can hire me for that. But on to the next one. We got Carlos Prates. As I said before, I'm very high on the Fighting Nerds. Extremely high on the Fighting Nerds. I've been big on Carlos Prates for a minute. Carlos Prates has a high ceiling, man. I think that he has all the potential to win a championship because of the power in his hands. He's knocking guys out with crazy. He hit Leon. Leon went airborne and was in La La Land, laughing and smiling and talking to, I don't know who the fuck he was talking to, but he was talking to someone. So Prates is again, he lost to Ian Garry, so that makes things interesting because he loses to Ian Garry. Ian Garry loses to Shavkat, right? Then you have Michael Morales in there. So it's just like this. It's a crazy scenario right now. Unless you do like a Shavkat versus like a Prates, and then a Morales versus a Ian Gary, and the winner, the most decisive winner, gets the title shot, and then it's gonna have to be some sort of tournament style, because Islam's already talking about super fights, Kamaru, Ilya. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about these other contenders. I think at some point, I know they hate the interim title, but they may have to look at that. The division is so stacked right now. I don't know how and all these guys are fighting at similar times. It's not that they're fighting Ian Gary, Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, Belal Muhammad. They're all fighting within a week of each other. Shavkat is on a 90. He's undefeated, so he can come back and arguably get a title shot. So that's why it's so crazy right now with this division. It's just like you don't know, you don't really have a clear path for any guy. I personally think Michael Morales, he just beat the number 2 guy in the world at the time, right? Freaking A, man. Because if Shavkat comes back, he needs another one. I think you made Shavkat versus Prates. Golly, because then you have Ian Gary there too. This is very difficult. I don't know which way to... Because Islam's not going to be fighting anytime soon. And I think the next fight... If they make the Kamaru fight... Okay, this is what you do. If you make the Kamaru fight, I think you make Michael Morales versus either Shavkat or Ian Gary. Or Prates. I think you put Michael Morales versus Shavkat. No, you'd have to put... Because Ian Gary already fight Prates. So you'd have to put Prates versus Shavkat, and then Ian Gary versus Morales. Or you can do Morales versus Ian and Prates versus Shavkat, if they make the Kamaru fight next. And then the winner of that one, could fight to see who potentially would fight Islam after he potentially fights Ilya. I don't know. It's just really hard with this division right now. Let's talk about Ian. Ian Gary, I think, will win this weekend. Ian Gary's on a run, man. The only person he's lost to is Shavkat, right? 16-1. He's beating good guys here. Prates, Brendan Page, Jeff Neal, Neil Magny. Right? The thing is, no one really likes Ian Gary. His personality is kind of weird, right? The whole cuck thing. The way he talks. It's just, listen, I'm just here to just highlight how stacked this division is, and I keep saying it over and over again. Ian Machado, these guys are all fighting at the same time. No. Kamaru just came off a win. Sean Brady just fought. Obviously, I think Ian Machado Garry, we're going to discuss him more, his path forward more after the Belal fight. I do think he wins, but if he doesn't win, then that changes everything. For everyone. Including Belal, right? Now, Belal's in the mix versus Ian Machado Garry is out of the mix. Okay? So then we go to Sean Brady. So Sean Brady just lost. I think Sean Brady needs to get back in there immediately. Oh, no. He just got knocked the fuck out. So I think Sean Brady needs to take some time, and then I think both him and JDM fight each other. I think both JDM and Sean Brady need time off. Both of them take some time off, a good 6-7 months. I think JDM needs it to work on that grappling. I think Sean Brady needed it to recover his brain. And they coming back, and the winner of that fight would get launched right back into the mix. If Sean Brady's able to beat JDM, he's right back in the top 5. If JDM beats Sean Brady, he's the former champ. He's right back in the mix for another shot. Probably another win or two after, because of how stacked the division is. So that's what I think is next for Sean Brady. Recover your brain, mate. Kamaru, keep pushing for Islam. Keep pushing for the Islam fight, Kamaru, because you have the thing Kamaru has on his side is legacy. He has more legacy than anybody that I just mentioned so far. The Michael Morales, the Carlos Prates, the even Belal, JDM, all these guys, Shavkat. He has more legacy than these guys. He's a reigning champ. He's a multiple time defending champ. Okay, just came off a great win versus Joaquin Buckley, a young up and comer. So I think if I'm Kamaru, I just kind of just keep pushing for that Islam fight, keep talking it up, and yeah, I think that would be a great fight. In fact, I really do. On to the next one. We got Leon Edwards, man. So Leon just got knocked the fuck out, mate. I think Leon needs to start looking for like lower levels of competition. I hear a lot of guys talking about Jorge Masvidal. I'm not mad at it. Leon needs a win. He needs to get a win. And sometimes that's what you need, you know. Sometimes it's not about remaining in the mix. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. You can't go to a 4-fight losing streak. So get a win over Jorge Masvidal. I think he would style on him. And then you have a win under your belt. You feel what it feels to win again. And then go back and try and maybe get a guy in the top 15. I would really, if I'm Leon, this is your last stretch. Get another top 15 guy. Get a top 10 guy, and then try and work your way back from there. I don't think you'll ever get back to the top 5 or even, you know, anything close. But I do think that he has the ability to end his career with a couple good wins, and I think that's what he should really try and focus on, to salvage his legacy. He doesn't want to go out this way on like a 6-fight losing streak. Beat Jorge Masvidal, and then get another favorable matchup. Look at what Kamaru did. Kamaru took real time off. See, a lot of times guys want to they lose and they just want to get right back in there. If Leon would have lost to Belal and just took time off like Kamaru, you just beat Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, 2 of the GOATs of the division. One of the, 2 of the guys that have reigned in that division as big names. Kamaru, one of the GOATs, Colby, one of the bigger names. You could have sat on that for a while. You know what I mean? But instead, you go back in there. It's not like he went back in there super quick, but you go back in there. Who did he fight after Belal? So he fought Sean Brady. Yeah, he fought Sean Brady and gets subbed. You know what I mean? I think that Leon could have played things smarter. I don't think his team is the best. And I think that's part of the problem. So on to the next. So Leon, yeah, if I were you, man, fight Jorge next. You have to get a win. That should be number 1 priority for Leon right now. We've got Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin's situation is interesting. I wonder if they have anybody. Are there any talks for Joaquin? Let me actually look real quick. Joaquin Buckley. I don't think there's any talks of him fighting anyone. So I think Joaquin might be doing. Yeah, he doesn't have anything announced. I don't think. I think he's playing it smart. You know, he lost to. Let me see. He lost to Kamaru. When was this? In June. If I'm him, I'm looking early next year at getting back into the octagon. You know what I mean? Maybe versus like. If I were him, I'd push for Leon. I don't think that'd be smart for Leon to take. But if that's what I would do. Sean Brady's there, but I think Sean Brady and Jack should kind of scrap. If I'm Joaquin, I'm pushing for Leon. But I mean, Gabriel Bonfim is there too. Maybe Shavkat. Maybe that'd be an interesting one because Shavkat hasn't fought in a while. If Belal loses, the loser of Belal JDM. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be probably the best bet for Joaquin. The loser of Belal JDM, I think, is the best bet. But this division, look. Have you guys seen the names that I've rattled off? Islam, JDM, Belal, Michael Morales, Shavkat, Carlos Prates, Ian Gary, Sean Brady, Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards, That's the top fucking 10. Number 11 is Gabriel Bonfim. If I'm Gabriel Bonfim, any and anyone in the top 10. If I'm him, I'm definitely pushing for Edwards. Definitely pushing for Edwards. But if I'm him, I'm just calling for any one of these guys in the top 10. 5 to 10 spot, you know. Maybe a Sean Brady. That's what I'm pushing for. But it's your boy. We just had to come in here and talk about this division for a little bit. It's fucking crazy what's going on in this division. Like, absolutely batshit fucking crazy what's going on in this division. Yeah. So we are looking at some great fights to come, great feature fights, great super fights. I mean, it is just a stacked division. This is wild, man. The UFC's in a good spot right now as far as talent. It's in a good spot, man. It really is. It's your boy, MMA McKinnon. Like, comment, share, subscribe, bell icon, all the above. Until next time.